was weird. Hi everybody, sorry I'm just one of the shortcomings of Streamlabs. There we go. Okay, I have to enter all this. Good. Hey Matthew, how you doing? All right, good to see you. You beat me to it. I didn't even have the title in yet. How's it going? It's going good. Glad to see you. It's been a long time. All right. Down here at Wenwen's, it's hot, man. They don't have the air conditioning on. I got my thing here on, you know, my do-rag. Oh, we got a nice color today. Nice color. So I'm going to go full screen. Beautiful, beautiful. Excellent. Yeah, they've got a nice orange color down there on the comments. And I'll tell you about that in a second. It's so hot, the air conditioning over here is off. I was next door, you know, at the usual place, right? And there's a bunch of Vietnam guys smoking and drinking, and that's okay, but they're sitting right next to me and they're yakking, and I wouldn't be able to do a live stream. I would interfere with them and they would interfere with me, and they were there first. Anyway, I got my drink, and you know what? I found another one of these kind of cups. It's got a really nice copper color on it, and it also has a carry bag with it, and that's what I'm using the carry bag. And I'm using the other one at home for drinks that don't stain. It uses this for coffee. Hot and humid? Yeah, I know what you mean. I read today that in one of the places where Tesla had been installing those walls, the power walls, that it actually helped with the overflow because of the current drain, you know, with the heat. So yeah, it's starting to pay off. So anyway, I got this cool little carry bag, you know, it's like a neoprene thing, so beats putting it on the bike. Anyway, before I go any further, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by iVideo. They've been providing me with free internet services. They're really great. I got a fantastic upload speed tonight, download speeds. I'm inside the building. It's great. And so if you look in the description of this video, you will find a shortened Google link. That's to my page, and then you can use my 10% code. It's also in the description, and you get 10% off every time you order from the service, not just the first time. So every time you go overseas and want to rent either a SIM card or a Wi-Fi box, you get 10% off. I love the Wi-Fi box because everybody can use it. But even if you're a solo traveler, there are a couple of things that you need to know, because there's an advantage. You can use your tablet at the same time. I mean, how many people, you know, use their mobile phone and don't want to read something on their tablet, then they got to use the phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it drains the battery. Also, your phone does use less power if you're only using Wi-Fi. Let this thing do the, you know, use the power for you. Let this thing be the modem. It propagates a Wi-Fi network and connects to the 4G, and you just simply log on to the Wi-Fi network, and your phone runs a lot cooler and the battery lasts longer. So there you go. Now we got that out of the way, and I really appreciate their sponsorship. But yeah, tonight is just a regular old Thursday night for me, and I want to say hi to everyone who's just joined. I got to look back a little bit. Man, I'm getting old here. I got a problem with my left ear. It's bugging me. I'm a musician, as you guys know. Really picky about my hearing, and a couple of days ago, actually started last Saturday, I noticed that when I make a line call using the Line app, it's a Wi-Fi based app, I make a voice call to somebody on my list, it plays a little tune, and suddenly I was unable to distinguish the notes in the tune. Scared me to death. Really, I mean, I got like a mini panic attack. I placed the phone on my right ear and I could hear it fine. So I went to the ear doctor immediately, and he said I had some earwax against my eardrum, and he vacuumed it out. But it feels like, he said I had inflammation, and it feels like I have water in my ear. You know that feeling like if you take a shower, you go swimming and the water just won't come out? That's what it feels like. But he said there's no water in there. It feels like maybe something's up the eustachian tube. I guess what you call it, eustachian tube. So maybe I actually have an infection. So I got to go back. If I have time to go back tomorrow, I will. If not, I'll go back early. Betty, how are you? Guess what came? Now, Betty, you're not in the late night group on the Line app. I don't know if you have Line, but if you want to install Line, all you got to do is go back to one of my studio streams and just scan the QR code that I show periodically from the studio. But your postcard came, and Wenwen loved it, and in the Line group, I posted a picture of her holding up your card. Now, are you on Twitter? If you're on Twitter, I did follow you on YouTube, but I'm not able to send you a message on YouTube yet. So, I don't know what the criteria is. Maybe you gotta follow me back, I don't know. But you know, subscribe to you on YouTube. If you're on Twitter and you don't mind, if you would type your Twitter ID, I will send you those. I'll send you a copy of the photos that I sent. And I wrote, I translated to Wenwen what you wrote. It's really cool. She liked it. I told her that was peanut butter and chocolate on the front. She's like, wow. I mean, who doesn't like peanut butter and chocolate? And she's surprised when you said, yeah, she liked it a lot. It's a nice card. Beautiful card. We always take pictures of them. What I have to do, turns out, I think a couple are missing, but I really want to take some time and use my Nikon camera and take some really good photos so I can show them from the studio. She really loves them. Altogether we have now, I think, about 20. So it was very kind of you to send that, and I told when I was going to do a live stream, and so she wanted me to say thank you. If it wasn't for this cold drink. All right. But if you have Twitter, I can send you those photos. Her holding it. The funny thing is, you know, she was holding the card up, and she kept holding it in front of her face. Just wanted to hide. Move it out of the way. Just don't want to see you. So anyway, those of you in the late night group have already seen. I showed Wenwen holding the picture of the you know, the front of the card up, and then showed the back of the card. Took a picture of it laying down on the counter. One thing I want to talk about, it's kind of my mind. A lot of foreigners come here. You know, the problem is there's not much uniform, whoa, got an earthquake, much uniform information. I haven't written much of my blog lately. Okay, understand that. I could get a call at any moment. The worst ones are when I get a call and I try to end the stream and the stream doesn't end, then you hear me on the phone. Brilliant. I try to write stuff on my blog to help people understand a few things, and there are some forums, but there's a lot of misinformation because every place that you go, you ask a different person, you get a different story, even from the official website. I've had officials here do stuff for me related to my immigration that I knew was procedurally incorrect, but they were going to give me the stamp and the document that I needed, so I shut my mouth and took it. And they're the officials, so that's okay. But many people come here and they just start driving a car. I know people have been here two, 3 years, they start driving a car and don't give it a second thought. Because, you know, they drive on the right, and by and large, the traffic signaling and so forth is the same as the States, except for the fact that people sometimes drive like idiots. They drive like idiots in the States. I mean, it is easy to sometimes forget that it's quite a different place. But if you come to Taiwan with an international driver's license, you can drive for 30 days. And after that, you have to get it validated. You have to pay a fee and get an extension. If you don't, you're illegal. And it's true that if you get stopped for something, the cops generally don't ask for your license unless they think you're drunk or something. But most traffic stops I've never been asked for my license, except when a bus hit me. I was on the side of the road with my family. My wife had just gone into 7-Eleven to get something because we're going to drive to Taipei and meet some friends of ours, and a bus came by and took my mirror off. And then the bus driver got out and tried to blame me, and I was parked. Well, I just let him rant, and I got him on camera acting like a complete ass. But the point is, when the cops showed up, he started, he tried to let me have it. Oh, it's the foreigner's fault, he shouldn't be here, and all this other stuff. And then he says to the cop, I'll bet he doesn't even have a driver's license. And I didn't say a word. I just pulled out my nice brand new 6-year-old Taiwan driver's license and gave it to the cop and just looked at him like. But if you were here for 6 years, driving on a U.S. driver's license with an unextended IDP or international driver's permit, a different story. The last thing you want is for your insurance to not pay because you're not licensed. That's bad. It is in Taiwan. Other countries is different. Here in Taiwan, it's only good for 30 days. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Something's stuck in my throat. I'm sorry. I hate that. If you go to AIT's website, that's the American Institute in Taiwan, and you look up, driving in Taiwan, the information's there. It's clear. You got 30 days, then you have to file paperwork and pay a fee. It's not much, like 150 or 200 NT. The other hit is that you have to do one of two things. You either have to have your driver's license validated in your home country's Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, the de facto embassy there, or you have to go to your country's embassy. In my case, it would be AIT. I have to swear on an affidavit that it's a valid license and I didn't cheat and it's the real thing. And I have to make an appointment, and it costs me $50 to do that. Yeah, they'll notarize it, and then you can get the extension. Now, if you want to get a Taiwan driver's license, I wrote extensively about that on my blog, because when I came here, I didn't drive. I took public transportation. I had a New Hampshire driver's license, and it expired soon after I was here. And I don't live in the United States. A lot of people maintain dual licenses, which is illegal. You're not allowed to have a driver's license for a country or a city, or a state that you don't reside in, but people do it anyway. Now, I wasn't going to go all the way back to New Hampshire to renew my driver's license, and I wanted to get a Taiwan driver's license. So because my license had expired, I had to take the road test too. If I didn't have an expired license, I could have just taken the written test, and presuming that I passed the written test, be issued a Taiwan driver's license. But here's the thing. Taking the written test is a thrash. Ken Ryan, how you doing? Taking a driver's test is a major thrash because it's on a track, and you do all kinds of things on the track that you would never do on the road. Anyway, long and short of it is, I failed the written test 3 times. because every time they gave me a different question pool, I would find questions on the test that weren't in the question pool. I've taken a lot of tests. I've taken amateur radio tests. I've taken 5 ham radio tests. I've taken the FCC top commercial license test. I know how to take tests and pass them, institutionalized tests and pass them. I know how to study for them. Questions weren't in the question pool. They give you the test on a computer. I saw some people getting the test in Vietnam. Presumably they were Vietnam wives. Anyway, I finally I gave up and I went to a Taiwan driver school at the end of my neighborhood. Went to a Taiwan driver school, excuse me, and spent 6 weeks in a driver school, driving the track every day, taking a test on the computer every day. Coco, how are you? Nice to have you with us. All right. Got a nice crowd in here this evening. I finally passed after that. And after taking the tests at the school with supposedly the exact same software they have at the DMV, there were still 2 questions on my test at the DMV that I never solved before. And I had been getting routinely, 98, 99, and 100 on all the tests that I took at the school for the last week that I was there. So I took so many tests, I had seen everything. But, so there you go. If you can avoid doing that, it's a lot better. If you can avoid doing that test, do so by all means. There is a reciprocal license list, and if you're on it, you're golden. If you have an ARC, which is their the Taiwan residency document, they'll just issue one. Boy, is it hot. Now I'm eating some what we call niudo ganba. You guys have seen this before. It's basically chunks of deep fried beef, dipping it in a Vietnam sauce. Nice. So, we had Dr. Koch here with us last week. Excuse me, I'm sweating profusely. Like a studio show. We had Dr. Koch last week, and he's now in California, so hope he can join us. I don't know if he can. Excuse me. In Asia, when you pick your teeth, you always cover your mouth, which people in other countries would do that. It's really funny to see people digging in there. So, no, T's place is gone. I'm at the coffee shop next door. Wenwen's is right over there. I'm at the coffee shop. T's place is gone. I mean, the physical building is there, but he sold the business, and the guy who bought it is young. He's like 30, 32, and he knocked down the karaoke rooms, and he's a chef, so he says. And T introduced me and said, oh, he cooks so good, he cooks so good. And I looked at him, and his mouth is all red from betel nut juice. And then he lights a cigarette, and you know, these betel nut guys are disgusting. They chew the betel nut, it makes their saliva red, looks like blood, and they're always spitting. It's like, okay, would you like your food prepared by a chef that chews tobacco and spits in a cup all day? That's a trick question. So yeah, it is gross, very much. And so these guys are always putting betel nuts in and spitting them out and stuff, you know, and they smoke, and I'm not going in there. I told my wife about that. The place is across the street from us. It's so convenient. I drive 20 kilometers south to Jubei to eat. I'm not eating there. You know, T's chef was his wife. Nice lady, clean. These Bing Long guys, man. This guy, my neighbor, I gotta talk to. He lives 3 doors down from me. And he parks his car in a lot, basically across from the front door of my house. And he chews this Binglong stuff, this betel stuff. And they do the same thing. They chew it, then they spit the rotten, chewed up pulp. It's like, it's like wood pulp. It's like, I don't know, like a piece of coconut husk or something, okay? Disgusting. In a little plastic cup. And then they throw it out the window of the car. So this guy, I'm in my house and I'm looking out the window. I just happened to see him. As he was leaving, he started his van up, he rolled down the window and threw out a Binglong cup basically right in front of my house and took off. So I haven't seen that guy. I need to talk to him. He's probably gonna be rude. But if he doesn't get it, then what I'll do is I'll just sweep it all up and I'll put it in front of his door. There's 3 Binglong places here and 1 up there. When I moved into this neighborhood, there were none. Now there's 4. And let me tell you, the proliferation of discarded cups and spit red juice all over the sidewalk is increased 100-fold. The guy that has that GTR that I like is a Binglong boss. He's got Binglong stores all over the place. He makes enough money to drive a GTR. Yeah, we will teach him, but on the other hand, he'll know who did it. Taiwanese sometimes act violently. He may do something like break my window and throw it all inside my car, or do something like that. And the laws are very strict here. You have to have irrefutable proof, usually video or photography. Testimony is usually not enough that somebody did something before the police will do anything. A guy in my neighborhood was throwing trash behind my house, and you in the late night group online saw the photos, and he threw it in the street after my wife yelled at him. And we called the cops, and the cops said, well, what do you want us to do about it? And my wife said, well, isn't throwing trash in the middle of the street illegal? And they said, well, do you have a video of him doing it? No, but we have 2 eyewitnesses. Well, we need a video, or at least photographs that shows before, during, and after. We called the environmental police, and they said the same thing. So yeah, personal freedoms are good, but no system devised by a man is perfect. I like the personal freedoms here, but somebody tried to break into my house, and I photographed their footprint and printed it out with a scale. And I followed the footprints. I knew where they came from, and I called the police officer. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want you to go with me, and I want to put down a blank piece of paper and have all these guys step on it, and the shoe that matches is Cinderella. And he says, you can't do that. He actually said, I swear, that footprints are not reliable evidence. I guess he never watched CSI. Footprints and shoe wear are some of the most reliable pieces of evidence that criminals leave behind. Because the shoe wear actually can show walking patterns. It can even reveal whether a person has a certain kind of injury or joint damage, right? Anyway, wouldn't do it. Wouldn't go down there. Wouldn't try to capture the guy. I had to have him on video. We could see his face. See here, the police don't enforce the law, they administer the law. And everything is done on a civil basis, not by the state. The state doesn't prosecute most crimes. See, a guy threw a rock in my window and broke 2 windows because it ricocheted off a corner. And I had the rock, and I picked it up with a plastic bag, and I called the cops. And I said, here's the rock, all you gotta do is see if there's prints on it. And they said, yeah, we can do that, but you have to come down to the station. I said, well, I have to take care of my business. I got to go to one of my factories, and my customer has parts being made. I can't do this right now. And he said, well, if you can't come to the station, then we're not going to do anything. And I said, well, why don't you prosecute? And they said, this is a civil matter. So apparently, it's not a criminal act to throw a rock at somebody's window and break it. And I said, well, thank you. I might need to know that. So there you go. But then again, all over Taiwan, you can walk down the street any time of the day or night, and it's completely safe. It's like any other place. You can find trouble if you're looking for it. You can always find bad stuff if you're looking for it. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Nice 720p, 30 frames a minute, 3,500 kilobytes per second. Wow, we're looking good. Our stream health is really good tonight. I love it. So sorry I haven't been on much. I've been really busy. And well, busy with good stuff. You know, things are going okay. They were touch and go for a while, but finally, with our business, some of the orders started coming back in, and we're looking good now. It was touch and go for a while, but now we're okay. Just been really, really hot. We've had some pretty severe weather, especially down in the south. And this week we've had, let's see, we had 4 earthquakes this week so far, all in the south. There's only been one that they say that you could feel in Cinchu County, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at all. Those are the things there that I can't stand. Those electric bikes. These people here with no license and no insurance, they ride them at night with no helmets, they turn off the lights because they want to save the electricity. But you don't need a license. Electric bikes here are perfectly legal. And the neighborhood is overrun with them. You spot them at the rate of like at least 2 per minute going by. It's amazing. Oh, it tastes so good. I got a little bit of Vietnam coffee, some soda water, just a touch of rum in there, and some ice, and that's it. It's just like a, can't even taste the rum. I got like literally just a few drops. But it's really nice to have a nice cool drink. And when I get home, I'm gonna load that thing up with more ice. I'm gonna top it off with some fresh filtered homemade SodaStream bubble water. That's what I like to drink. But sorry I haven't been around so much. I'm not sure what's gonna happen tomorrow. Usually I'm really busy on Friday night, but tomorrow night, or Friday night, I might actually have free. I've been wanting to do more field work. Some places I'll have to film and upload. I can also film them and show them on a studio show. Same difference. But I do want to do some more live streaming from the field, walking around and showing you things. Just that there hasn't been a whole lot going on. The last thing we had happen was the dragon boat races. It's been done to death. I mean, I saw the same people this year from Hong Kong as well as last year. I didn't want to do that. I did a live stream on Periscope last year, the Dragon Boat races, and it got accidentally featured. And so, why do it again? But there are a couple things coming up that I might be able to do. I'm going down in central Taiwan in a couple weeks for the weekend, and there may be one or two places that I can walk around at night and stream and show you. And it should be pretty cool. They've got a pretty big night market down there in Taichung, and it's actually known for being populated with gangsters. See, when you watch Dave in Osaka, they do geisha watching. You know, that's what Dave does on YouTube, is geisha watching scopes. Here in Taiwan, we do gangster watching scopes. That's what we do, gangster scopes. And you know, you're friendly and polite, they'll come over and pose with you. Anyway, so, but I wanted to come on tonight because I haven't been on so long. I'll say hi to you guys. And I got finally all my supplements in, and I'm going to start taking the photographs for the next week, because I want to do I know I've been saying this, and I was waiting for the other supplements to come in. I got to order another set of supplements for something else. When they come in, I'll do the follow-up show and show you that, but I want to cover the DIM, the omega-7, and the homocysteine resist at first. If I can do those three, I think that'll be a really good show to cover those three first. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do close-ups, you know, of the labels, and give you some background on what the chemical composition is and what it supposedly does. I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to tell you what, you know, my doctor recommended them for. That's all I can do. So anyway, it's going to be time for us to go. You guys take care. Thanks so much for joining, and I appreciate it. So, gangster broadcasting. That's right. Gangster broadcasting. Gangster streaming. Should be gangster watch. That would actually make a fun broadcast, but once you do it from a distance, you know. So, you guys take care. Thanks so much. Later, everyone. Have a good evening, and we'll see you next time. Whoops. Oh, I keep hitting the table. Have a good night. See you now. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.